What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of my vlog.
Caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the crossfire.
The lighting is like crazy good on my porch. I'm digging this. I never actually use this porch that much. I should have like a little coffee table down there. It's a nice place just sit and relax. But anyway, I'm getting distracted here. I want to tell you a story. The story of how I got to where I am right now. And all the events that led up from point A to point B that led me to this moment right now. I just want to preface the story by saying one thing. Shit has never come easy for me. Literally never. It has always been the hard road for me. Where it's easy for most people, there's usually a struggle for me. That's just how it's been for me in my entire life. And I'm not complaining, it has sculpted me into the person that I am today, which is great. So this story begins way back when I was in high school. That's like, how many years is that now? 5 years ago when I was in grade 11 and getting ready for university applications. Now, for me, I always struggled with two subjects, math and science. They've always plagued me, and I've tried many times to improve my marks. It's just never worked. It's never worked for me, ever. I just came to the conclusion that I just wasn't a math or science person. And also throughout grade 11, I sort of had this attitude that if I really wanted something, it would just happen. It would just appear out of nothing. I wouldn't really have to work for it that much because the stars would align and make shit happen for me. I've since learned that is completely wrong. That's just not how life works at all. Young, naive Craig. And I learned the hard way. I'm not gonna lie. So, for most of my high school career, my main ambition, like my main dream, my main goal for the future was to get into university. Take that next step into this amazing chapter of my life with my friends and start studying something meaningful. Start doing something meaningful with my life. That was my main goal. And I was so amped for that. For 2 years, that is basically all I looked forward to. And the thought of not going to university had never even crossed my mind at that point. I didn't even think not going to university was an option. That's how confident I was going to get in somewhere. So of course, having this attitude led me to not put in as much effort as I probably should have. Like I said, my math and science marks sort of just plummeted. I did try. I did try improve them, but just nothing seemed to work. So it was just difficult. But admittedly, I did coast quite a bit in grade 11. I didn't work as hard as I really should have. And in hindsight, it was stupid because I knew that those were the marks that I'd be using to apply for university. I knew that those were the marks that were so important. And I still didn't care. And I was even told by everyone, by friends, by family, by teachers, that you have to work hard, you have to get good marks, you have to apply yourself in grade 11. And I listened to none of them. Literally none. I mean, how stupid can you be? If I could go back in time and slap young Craig, I would do it. Fast forward a little bit. I've written my grade 11 exams, got my marks back, and they weren't great. They weren't great at all. And for some reason, I was surprised. I was honestly, when I looked at these things, I was surprised. Even though I should have seen it coming. Keep fast forwarding a little bit more to when university applications open. And this was my second fault. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have known with the marks that I had, I was never going to get into the courses that I wanted to do. But 17-year-old Craig again, I applied to all of them. I applied to the most unrealistic courses imaginable. I would have never got into these courses in a million years with the marks that I had. But for some reason, I thought I could get in and apply. Fast forward a little bit more. Everybody is now starting to get their responses from the universities. And it seemed like all my classmates, all my peers, all my friends were getting good responses. Getting in somewhere. They were all getting into universities. Except me. I was sitting on 3 rejection letters at this point. And I still wasn't too phased. I was still pretty confident that I was going to get in somewhere. And at this point, again, the thought had never even crossed my mind that I wouldn't be going to university. I was like, no, it's fine. Something will come up. It'll be cool. Don't even stress about it. But obviously, that's just not how shit happens, because as the year wore on, I got more and more rejection letters. I started to face the daunting reality that university might not be happening for me. The thing that I'd been looking forward to for so long might not happen. And that scared me. Eventually I was waiting for just one course to get back to me, just one last response. Matric final exams came and went, and I still hadn't heard anything from this one course. They strung me along for so long that I had packed my shit and I'd gone down to Stellenbosch where the course was, without even knowing whether I had been accepted or not. I didn't have a place to stay, I didn't have anything planned. I slept on my sister's floor for 2 days. For 2 days I slept on the floor, waiting for a response. And not even a week before the semester was due to start, they sent me a response. And it was unsuccessful. I was crushed. This was my last little thread of hope that had just slipped out of my reach. And the worst was that I could see what I wanted so badly. It was right there, right in front of me, but I just couldn't get it. I was at the university that I wanted to go to, but I couldn't stay. And that killed me. But it just made me realize what I was missing. And that was shit. The first 2 weeks at home were terrible. I had no aim, I had no motivation, I had no direction. I felt lost. For the first time in my life, I felt properly lost. I didn't know what to do with myself. But eventually my mother suggested to me that I go back and I redo my math and science marks through a tutoring company. And when I first heard this, I was like, no, it's not happening. I'm not giving another year of my life to these two subjects that put me in the situation that I'm in. No, it's not happening. Forget it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that this was the only real solution to my situation, and I agreed. So we approached a tutoring company. I met with this lovely lady, and she was going to be tutoring me throughout the year. And she gave me this assessment just to see where I had gone wrong and where we should start trying to fix my math and science problem. And I got even more bad news, because she told me straight up that the only way my marks were going to improve if I repeated not only the matric syllabus, but the grade 11, the grade 10, and the grade 9 syllabus. 4 years of work in one. I was not looking forward to this. In fact, I was dreading it. So basically for the next year of my life, all I did every single day was math and science. And then after a while, university applications opened again. And this time I was a lot more realistic with my approach. I applied to courses that I was pretty confident I would get into with my marks, like the easiest courses to get into. I applied to the lot. Every single one. I don't even remember how many applications I sent out, but I sent out tons. But I soon realized that this was wrong, because as the year wore on, I got more and more and more rejection letters. And it was crushing. And this time was even more devastating than the first, because these were courses that I thought were really easy to get into. But for some reason they just still didn't want me. And this really put me in a bad place, because now I genuinely started to doubt myself. But despite all of this, I decided to just keep pushing with my math and science. Even though I was demotivated, I was demoralized, I was just overall bleak about this whole situation. And if anything, these rejection letters motivated me to push harder with the math and science, because I wanted to make sure that I'd get out of this situation. And then the last course that I was waiting to hear back from sent me a response, and it was unsuccessful. I started to get a familiar feeling that I would be spending yet another year at home. And then by chance, a family friend just happened to be in our area, and he stopped by for tea. He told me about this university that specialized in natural resource studies, so nature conservation, game loss management, and all of that. The first thing I thought was, oh boy, just another university that I can add to my ever-growing collection of rejection letters. But nevertheless, I applied the next day. And after about 2 weeks, I got a response, and it was not what I was expecting. My application was successful. After 19 failed attempts to get into university, 19 failures, I was successful. I finally got in somewhere. Sure, it wasn't my first choice university, but it was a step in the right direction, and I was stoked. For the first time in the longest time, I had direction. I didn't even know what to do with myself. I was just so happy. But the year wasn't over yet. I still had to face those two demons of math and science. I started working really hard to try just absolutely kick the ass of these subjects. I didn't want them to be holding me back for the rest of my life. The time eventually came to rewrite the matric finals for these two subjects. I honestly didn't think that I was prepared. Nothing at this point could have convinced me that I was prepared to write those two subjects. When the results finally came out for these exams, I was shitting myself. I didn't know what to expect, and the results blew my mind. I had turned my 40% for math into a 70 and my 50% for science into a 75. The first time in my life I was actually stoked about a math mark. The moral of the story is resilience. Keep at it. If you have your goals and your ambitions in mind, keep working at them. Never give up. And in hindsight, I would have done a whole lot differently, but I wouldn't be sitting where I am today, and I wouldn't have made the friends that I did along this rough road. So to be honest, I don't regret a thing. And the one thing that I've learned, and I want to teach all of you, life is not easy, and life is not fair, and it never will be. So get used to it. I'm now sitting on something like 25 or 26 rejection letters to my one acceptance letter, and I'm still kicking. I have my dreams, I have my goals, and I'm working at them every single day. And nothing can stop me. I will achieve them one day. Never, ever give up. Never doubt yourself, and keep pushing. That was it. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog, but I will see you next week. Cheers.